Back to KCLR live from the Lord Bagnall Inn this morning. We're having a great morning. We're celebrating excellence with the Carlow County Chamber. We're hearing lots of your local business stories. And at home, a lot of men, it seems, need help with their outfits for Christmas because the texts are flooding in for the competition on 083 306 9696. Text detail your own name and address if you'd like to win, and we'll announce the winner before 12 o'clock. I'm delighted to be joined on stage now this morning by two amazing local companies and award winners as well. Carlow Toolmaking won Outstanding Small Business of the Year. Pat Amond joins me, and John Kennedy, General Manager of DPF Engineering, and John, DPF won Exporter of the Year this year. Congratulations again to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you. I might start, John, first of all, with yourself at DPF. Tell us a little bit about DPF for our listeners at home that may not be aware of what you do day to day.
Okay, DPF Engineering, basically, we manufacture precision component parts. Basically, it was started in 2010 by a gentleman called Seamus Lancaster. Seamus actually sends his apologies. He's actually away travelling this week, selling or, well, sales junket, but he tells me he's working.
Exporter of the Year now, so go easy on him.
This is true, yes. He actually started the company in 2010. He actually started selling bespoke jigs and fixtures for manufacturing companies in Ireland. He actually didn't have any equipment himself. He was actually getting the business and subbing it out.
Right.
And then over a couple of years, he built up equipment, built up some specialist tool makers, and got going. And then about 2010 to 2011, he recognised that there was an opportunity in the aerospace sector. So he invested pretty heavily in some very specialist equipment and started from there, basically. And as of today, we have 45 people employed, turnover of 5 million, 60% exports, supplying into medtech sector, the aerospace sector, and the high-tech sector. So phenomenal story, really.
Wow, so very specific components, and you're aimed at multinational companies. And I haven't a clue what I'm looking at, and you might describe it for our radio listeners as well. You've brought some props along just so that we can visualise what you're all about.
Yes, probably my explanation for those on the radio probably will be poor, but this piece here basically is what's called the shaft. It's actually part of the landing mechanism for a Boeing 747 MAX. Then this one, I'll just take three here actually, because it gives an idea of the spread of work we do. This is called a resonator, a small little component. Looks quite simple, very, very difficult to make, but it's actually part of a gyroscope for a telescope and spacecraft. And then the final one here basically is a base plate for a machine that manufactures microchips.
Right.
So whenever you fly, whenever you use your laptop or your mobile phone, or basically whenever you look at a space program, Carlow is well represented.
That's amazing. Have you done any business with Elon Musk yet?
No, not yet. That would be an interesting business development piece. I leave that to Seamus.
I bet Seamus is probably working on it as we speak now.
Oh, could very well be, yes, could very well be.
And Pat, you were looking at the components with interest because you're in the business of tool making yourself.
We're in the same type of business. We're more in the medical and oral care side of the business.
So you're very specific now, Pat, are you?
Yeah, it's precision parts. What we're doing is we make fixtures and medical devices to help people in the medical industry to produce the medical parts. We don't actually produce any medical parts ourselves. It's just the devices that we make for them.
Right, so talk us through, you've brought some devices along here, haven't you?
Yeah, well, again, most of them are from the medical end of it. This is a safe cut fixture, and it's used for cutting the tubes for the balloons, and the balloons are used for delivery of the stents in the hearts and operations and stuff like that. These are different grippers there's different processes before the actual balloon is made. There's different grippers. This part here is a gripper that's for what used to be in Carlow, Bhraonáin, Oral-B, and they're now changed to Mapex, but that's for holding the tuft for the toothbrush. So these we would have designed and manufactured these parts, spare parts, and special purpose machines for these companies.
I'm staggered when I hear about your connection, your local, global connections when you're describing what you're doing. So in your case, John, you mentioned Boeing, and in your case, some of the massive medical firms. You mentioned the Bhraonáin toothbrush, for instance.
Yep.
It's remarkable how a small county like Carlow has that reach, Pat.
We have that reach, but it's gone to the stage. Ireland is good. Well, probably Carlow started off as a very good manufacturing, from the likes of the sugar factory, Bhraonáin, Lapple, and all in the years, the Burnsides, and there's loads of engineering. It's an engineering county, and the world has gone small now with couriers and emails and everything like that. Like an awful lot of our work is done throughout Ireland. And some of it is stuff we don't actually do ourselves, we don't export ourselves, but we work with companies, medical companies in Galway, who are exporting it out to America and everywhere, some of our parts.
There's no doubt our innovation hubs were the likes of Bhraonáin, Lapple, Carlow Sugar Factory in the past. Now I think it's your businesses really where a lot of these ideas are being worked on and coming to the fore, and we're seeing so much progression all the time. What's your background, John, in terms of local business, or did you do an apprenticeship yourself, or how did you start out?
Well, unfortunately, I've been around quite a long time. I would have joined Seamus about 2 to 3 years ago. I suppose my background is working with companies that are either going through difficult times or, in Seamus's case, have very ambitious plans to grow, and I work with them. I come actually from an industrial engineering background, work study and efficiency, or would now be called lean, basically. So worked with a lot of different types of companies, engineering, warehousing, basically.
Right.
Variety of industries.
Brilliant. Stay where you are, gentlemen. I know I'll put the fear into everybody in the room now in the Lord Bagnall. Where is she going to go next? And I'm going to go across to Aptus this morning to say good morning to Fergal. How are you, Fergal?
I'm very good now, thanks. Good to be here this morning.
It's great to be here, and it's great to have a good signal as well, because there's nothing worse than when the broadband goes down when you're on live radio.
It's very important to be well connected, so it is, especially on live radio, yes.
It surely is, and you've been very busy connecting people everywhere.
We've been busy now for quite a long time, I suppose, connecting rural Carlow and the surrounding counties to broadband, and I think we're making even more progress now with our partnership with National Broadband Ireland, which are currently rolling out fibre to quite a lot of Carlow, Kilkenny and the surrounding counties. So you'll probably have seen their vans and trucks rolling on the roads over the last number of weeks and months. And I suppose that's starting to pay a dividend now, where we see fibre becoming available in rural Carlow. And Aptus are very happy to be able to be part of that project and deliver fibre services to our customers now.
Well done. Continued success. I know you enjoyed the Business Awards as well, Fergal.
Yeah, that was a great evening. It was a great showcase, I think, for all the businesses in Carlow. And as Colin mentioned earlier on, I think a lot of the new businesses, which is great to see, because they really are the lifeblood of the country. And yeah, it was very good evening, well hosted and well presented.
Thanks very much, Fergal. Enjoy your morning here with us. And back to you, Pat, because when we're talking about fibre there and broadband, and you had mentioned couriers to me a minute ago, that's really important for the manufacturing businesses as well, because a lot of your systems are relying on broadband, really, so that you can operate. Even machinery these days, they're very connected, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, everything is CNC controlled. Drawings and everything like that is transported and sent to people, through the fibre, and it is very important, because the beauty of it now, and we all learned over COVID and everything like that, with the Teams calls and the Zoom calls and everything like that, it's we can be in Galway in 2 minutes, and then you can be down in Wexford in 2 minutes again, just on calls, and you can have giant calls.
Has that been the positive effect for a business like yours? Because you would have spent a lot of time, I'd imagine, on the road, and now you can see it's not really necessary all the time.
That's what happens as well. You can have a meeting arranged at 11 o'clock, 11:15 or 11:20. Business is done, and you don't have to drive 3 hours the whole time. So it was one of the positives that did come from the COVID.